Hi, this is Shelby Slay from Scarlet's Guide Designs, and today we'll be taking a look at our Stitch Bitty Stars and Stitches Patriotic Stitchable Bag Tag. All right, let's get started. So we're going to take a quick look at this. You can see that your Stitch Bitty is going to come in an all-in-one kit. All right, I have gone ahead and pulled everything out, so we'll take a look at that one by one. So let me move that to the side. So let's take a look at what's in our kit. First things first is your pattern and your quick start guide. So here's your pattern right here. If I was to open it up, you can see that I've got all of my different threads listed, and then there are corresponding shapes that go with those colors, right? On that pattern, you'll just follow those, kind of like a paint by numbers. All right, so let's go ahead on. You can also see that I've got notes on here for stitching. So for this particular model that I'm going to show you, I stitched it using 4 strands over 1. And then there's also an acrylic piece that's included in here that you can use for additional finishing and added durability on the back of your piece. You could also use any felt that you chose to cut out or backing fabric. Any of those items would work. All right, so along with our pattern, we also have our user guide. So our user guide just gives you an idea of everything included in your kit. You have your getting started, which talks about threading your needle, securing your thread, following the pattern. If you are a new stitcher, this guide will help you. And the show notes for this, for this particular video, I also have some links in there for some guides to getting started with cross stitch as well. I also have information right here on finishing your Stitch Bitty, and then care instructions and resources are also listed. Okay, so let's start taking a look at our Stitch Bitty pieces. So like we talked about, this particular kit comes with the threads. So our threads that we're going to be using for our Patriotic heart include B5200, the DMC 321, and DMC 312. All right, and those are included in your kit. Also included in your kit is a thread winder. It's an organizer to help keep, it's a windable thread organizer to keep all of your threads together. We even have your different thread colors listed on here. So your 312, 321, and B5200 DMCs. We'll set that one over to the side. Also in here is your stitchable bag tag piece. Okay, so that piece is right there. Then we also have your acrylic backer. And then as you can see on here, there's a protective paper that's sitting on top of that just to keep it safe during any shipping. So you'd want to remove that before use. You also have your needle and your hardware that you're going to use to finish this. All right, so now that we've looked at everything in that, let's take a look at how to finish our piece once it's stitched. So as you can see here, I've gone ahead on and stitched our Patriotic heart. Everything's ready to go. The first thing you want to do, like we talked about, is remove that paper. Now, one of the easiest ways to remove this paper is by using a needle, just to start pulling up that paper. You could use your fingernail to pull it, but one of the tricks that I like to use is a needle threader, and I just use right on that side to start lifting that paper up and pulling it back and off. And it comes off very easy once you get that started. So now that you've got your paper off, okay, we want to go ahead on and get this ready to be finished. So one of the things that I like to do once I've removed that paper is I use the paper that's left over from my kit, and I just go through and remove any excess dirt, debris, anything like that off of here, so it's nice and clean. Once we get started, you'll probably see fingerprints, but those can be easily removed. That's just normal. As you can see on this side, I've got a little bit of thread pieces left over on here from when those two items were sitting together. You can just pull those right off. Okay, so to get started with finishing this, the first thing you want to do is trim off any excess threads on the back. Now, I don't love my stitched backs. Some people have beautiful ones, so I like to cover them up, which is part of the reason why there is a cover back here. Now, one of the things you could do if you had lots of threads kind of sticking out, you could use your scissors and just go in and trim them. As you can see, this one I've already trimmed and tucked everything, but if you see right here, my red, if that was sticking out, I could just go under and trim that off. All right, but since this is already tripped, we are ready to go. What I'm gonna do for this particular one, the glue that I'm going to use is the Gorilla Clear Glue. This is not a super glue. This glue right here, similar to like E6000, gives you a little bit more time to let the acrylic piece sit on there. You can move it around, different things like that, and we'll take a look at that in just a second on finishing that. Like I said, you could also use E6000. If you wanted to, you could use a hot glue gun. That would work as well. Just know that anytime you're using hot glue, you know, that can pull off easily. So after any use of wear and tear, things like that, you might have to glue your acrylic piece down again. Okay, so when we're doing this, let's go ahead on and get our piece ready to go. So what I'm gonna do with this is, I also wanna make sure that I get my glue onto my threads. I don't wanna use too much, and I wanna kind of spread it around to those edges as well. So we wanna get a little bit on those threads so we can make sure that everything sticks, but don't let it pull up too much. Again, get it onto those edges, kind of move it around a little bit. Okay, and then we also want just a little bit up at the top. We can go back through and clear those in a second. Once we have our glue on there, I might have gotten a little wild with my glue, then we're gonna take our acrylic piece right here, okay? And we're gonna go ahead on and we're gonna attach that down. We're just gonna hold that there. Like we said, with this, you have time to move this around, but one of the things that I like to do is I like to use fabric clips to hold my piece together while it's drying. So, and you can get these at any store. A lot of times I include them in purchases. So it's one of our free little gifts that we give a lot of times, our fabric clips. And then I'm just gonna go ahead on and hold these down. You can find these at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can find them online at a lot of like quilting stores. Lots of places have them. You can find them on Amazon. And I'm just gonna go ahead on and move those all around on our piece to hold it together while everything is drying. Now, if you start to notice any seepage or anything like that of your glue, you can just wipe it off with your fingers, right? There's my piece on the front side. Like I said, I really like to use these clips. I use this when finishing a variety of my projects. I'm a big fan of them for finishing. So I obviously have lots of them hanging around my house. I like to go all the way around as much as I can to hold everything together. I'm gonna get that right there. Get this piece right there to hold that down. I'm gonna move that a little bit more right there and kind of just move these around to hold all those spots down. I'll put that one a little bit more right in the middle to hold that down. Now, once everything has dried, and I'll just set it up like this once I'm ready for it to dry. Once everything has dried, then I'm going to grab my hardware piece that's included in here. As you can see, it's just a little O-ring that snaps like that. And I would just snap that into here. Let's see, let me remove that for just a second so you can see how this just, oops, there we go, snaps right on in. And then your bag tag or scissor fob or project bag pull, however you want to use it, is ready to go. There's a variety of different ways that you could use this. All right, well, I hope you enjoy your new Patriotic Heart Stitchable bag tag. If you have any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thanks so much and have a great day.